going on, beautiful people? We got a beautiful person back. Sam's here. We got another beautiful person over there, Harrison. And I rounded out with the other beautiful person. This is episode 165 of the Chasing Points podcast. Harrison, you shake your goddamn head again when I say that. I'm jumping to the screen. We have a lot to talk about. What happened, Sam?
Yeah,
thank you. That's a phenomenal song. Phenomenal song. Yep. With Chris Brown. Yeah, great song. I might make that background noise for this. I might just cue it in at some point. NFL free agency has popped off. Harrison, stop being a hater. We also have point of views on what people's point of view is on the current state of the NBA. I have a lot to say. Sam and Harrison also, they got a preview of this, but I still have a lot more to say. So bear with me. And then college basketball. It's championship week. We will be talking about who we think, just based off the rankings currently right now. We'll basically take it home before we even do our brackets, which I'm assuming we will be doing a bracket again this year, and a little Do You Care. So, gentlemen, first and foremost, it's beautiful outside. We finally have warm weather. How are you guys doing today?
It is really nice out. The warmth has hit us. Glad to have Sam back after you basically killed him last week. Said things were dire, but here you are.
I did do Sam's eulogy. That is correct. That is true.
We're
this. Well, just know
he killed you.
Literally, yeah. Verbally, I did. Sorry.
Yeah, we're over the flu in the Baker household, so we're in the clear.
Love that.
But of course, throat's a little scratchy today, so it could be coming for me next, guys.
Lay scratch.
Lay scratch.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no. Great. Sam,
okay.
How about you? Nice.
It is.
Daylight too.
It definitely is.
Although daylight savings time. Why? I think we did this last year. Why do we still do this?
We don't need to do this anymore. We should just not do it.
We should not do it.
We should just not do it. Like collectively, we should just all just not.
It would be really difficult. It'd be difficult to take like a personal stand against it, because then you have like meetings and like someone's like, all right, we got a 3:00, and then you show up like an hour later. And you're like, well, I don't observe daylight savings time. So is it 3 p.m. your time or 3 p.m. my time? So it'd be tough.
We should
try that. Let's try it.
The religion of savings is what we are. That's what we're doing. Yeah. Well, don't get me. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you guys for not asking me how I'm doing again. I appreciate you guys. You're both pieces of shit for always doing this to me. Just know that this is not going to go well. This is not going to bode well for either of you going forward in the next episode. But I'm doing well, just in case you guys were listening that were curious of how I was doing. And if not, you can kick rocks right along with these two. But I'm doing well. It's warm. It's nice. Things are on the up and up. We will go from there. So things are also on the up and up for particular teams. Justin and the Jets. Sam, how you feeling about that? Oh, wow. Well, this is why I said it, so you could do it now and have all the time you want to have on it. So.
Fair. Yes.
I mean, it can't be worse than Aaron Rodgers, right? Yeah. Harrison, you're also a Jets fan when you want to be. So how are you feeling about this 2-year, $40 million contract?
I like it. I like Justin Fields. I thought he played pretty well last year. And we've had some good like quarterback omens in years past with guys on their third team. So maybe he takes another leap. But yeah, we'll see what they do in the draft too. He's not the end all be all answer. Definitely not. But yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I think me and Hayes mentioned last week, like Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
He'll be available
Mhm.
there. I don't know. Like, I think that might be too much of a reach to take him at 7. But if he's there later on, I would take someone like him.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not Justin Fields not the end all be all. I think he's serviceable and see what else they build around him.
I don't think you're
Yeah.
just numb as a Jets fan. Yeah. I mean, I don't care who's under center as long as there's your line is Swiss cheese. It doesn't matter who's under center. You're not going to have time to throw the ball. Uh, that that's the issue
Mhm.
for sure. You're probably also happy that Hassan Reddick signed with the Bucks because you no longer have to worry about that headache either. So, kudos to you, Sammy. It's kind of a win day for you. You know, you should pat yourself on the back about this. It's a solid thing. Solid thing. Okay. Yeah. True. We'll give you We'll give you Huff back. You can have him back if you want him back. Take him. Yeah, yeah, you can take him if you want to. Speaking of cost saving, you can just throw that out the window because any of these contracts that we're talking about here are not cost saving. So I'm just gonna run through several of them right now, and then we can talk about kind of what our favorite ones are or thoughts and comments. So I'll just do a little quick rundown. Josh Allen agrees with the Bills for a 6-year, $330 million extension. I believe 216 is guaranteed. Browns and defensive end Myles Garrett reached a 4-year, $160 million extension. Kick rocks, Myles Garrett, for having us all think that you're potentially going to come to one of our teams to only stay and take money. So what you said about leaving the Browns and wanting to actually win, you didn't really mean it. The money talked and the BS walked. Got it. Understood. Steelers trade for DK Metcalf. Send a second-round pick to the Seahawks, and the Metcalf, when he gets here, he agrees to a 4-year, $132 million extension. Geno Smith, I told you so. This was going to happen. My sources were right. Seattle trades Geno Smith to the Raiders for a third-round pick. And Sam Darnold signs with the Seattle Seahawks for 3 years and $100 million. I'm sure we have a lot to unpack there, so we'll get there in a second. We already talked about Justin. The Bears get defensive tackle Grady Jarrett. This hurt my soul a little bit from the Falcons. 3 years, 43.5 million. And the Commanders, they trade for Laramie Tunsil and a 2025 fourth rounder, and send a 2026 second rounder and fourth rounder, and this year's third and seventh round pick to Houston. The Chargers cut Joey Bosa. We don't know where his brother's going. And then the Eagles lose Darius Slade, Josh Sweat, Milton Williams, and Isaiah Rodgers all today. Josh Sweat getting the best deal out of this all, 4 years, $76.4 million, $41 million guaranteed, and he's going to Harrison's Cardinals. So,
Let's go. Go Cards. Go
gentlemen,
Birds.
yes, listen, I'm actually, so the only one that I'm upset about the names here that left is Isaiah Rodgers. Slay, the way that I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, kind of the throwing Jalen Hurts under the bus after saying, not talking highly of him, also talking about CJ Gardner Johnson and not saying that he's a leader. Like you just won a Super Bowl with these guys. I guess you just don't like them. So he can kick rocks. But I do thank him because he did change the DB room in Philly. So I definitely absolutely commend him because prior to him, we've had some shaky corners. I was just upset about the Isaiah Rodgers one. Milton and Josh Sweat were going to get paid too much, so it didn't really bother me from there. I think the surprise so far for me is the Laramie Tunsil trade. The
Yeah.
Commanders, that's a solid move for Jaden Daniels to get one of the best tackles in the league to now help him and protect him. And it's weird to me that the Texans did this because that was one of the best parts of their team last year and probably one of the only best parts outside of CJ last year, period. And you let him just go for this. And some will say it's good, some will say it's not. I don't believe it's good for the Texans, but I think this is a steal for the Commanders. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did. They did. Yeah. Which if any of these stand out to you, Sam, which one would it be? Yes. Sneaky big deal, by the way. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So did Saquon. He got an extension too, by the way. We didn't put that on
Right.
here. Yeah. Yeah. Non-quarterback in the yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's
One thing I
wasting.
will give him kudos for is by him signing that contract, he just raised the asking price for Micah Parsons. So sucks to suck, Cowboy fans, because I appreciate that so much, and I just laughed because Micah's going to laugh all the way to the bank. But there's rumors that they're potentially chopping him. Yes. Yep. Yep. It's funny that you say the Bengals because I had a tweet here that Andre Bengals wrote, and he said if the Bengals acted when they were supposed to, they could have signed Jesse Bates for 12 million a year, T Higgins for 23 million a year, Jamar Chase for 35 million a year, and Trey Hendrickson for 25 million a year. They didn't get ahead of any of this, and he finished it by saying worst front office in NFL history. You might want to look into the New York Giants first before you say that, young man. But yeah, hmm, yeah, Mhm. Did they re-sign him? I don't think isn't he still a free agent? I think he's still uh, I don't think he did. Yep. Yep. They do.
Hmm.
2 things. If somebody handed me a check for 216,000,000, I'm passing the hell out. That's number 1. And while we were talking about the Browns, the Eagles traded Kenny Pickett to the Browns, so he might be their starting quarterback. So there's that. They traded Kenny Pickett, or the Browns acquired Kenny Pickett for a 2025 fifth round pick, and Dorian Thompson Robinson is what the Eagles got. So yeah, there you go.
back
Out of that.
back in the FC North.
Yep. Have fun. Have fun. Thanks, Kenny. You won a Super Bowl with your hometown team. That's pretty great. Harrison, what if any of these stand out to you? Which one would it be?
I guess aside from the quarterbacks playing like musical chairs out west, we got Gino going to Vegas, Sam going
Mm-hmm.
to Seattle. Sam Darnold deal is interesting. Um, I like the Steelers one for DK. I thought their defense was all otherworldly all throughout last year, and
Yeah.
they just really ran into a moment in time where they couldn't move the ball. And I'll be interested to see who they go with under center, whether it's Russ or Aaron Rodgers or he who shall not be named yet. I have no idea. But just getting a second threat on the outside to go along with Pickens, pairing DK on one side and Pickens on the other, I think that'll only help their offense. And if they can maintain the standard that they have on defense, which I don't see why they wouldn't, um, I think they'll be back as a AFC contender again next year. They kind of went out quietly, but all throughout the year they were a team we were talking about that people should be afraid of, and defensively people should have been, but their offense just fell really flat. So anything they can do to help out their offense, I think is a big deal for them.
I I'll just say a couple of quick things before we move on, and then leave the floor to you guys if you have any more you want to add. But I still the Geno trade is very interesting. That Pete Carroll really wanted his guy. I guess he really loves Geno to go out and do that. And then for Sam Darnold, he had kind of the choice of wherever he wanted to go. The Vikings seemed the only place he couldn't go because they couldn't afford him, and he was going to receive a deal like this. And it seemed like they were trending towards uh, McCarthy. So I find that whole thing to be very interesting. I know that his name popped up for the Steelers, and now the front runner for the Steelers position or quarterback is Aaron Rodgers, and the front runner for the Titans starting quarterback is Russell Wilson. So very interesting to see the moves that could potentially still be made at this point in time. There's a lot of veteran wide receivers that are still out there that have not been signed. Tyler Lockett. Trying to think of who else is out there. They just signed what you call it. Chris Godwin went back to the Buccaneers. Shout outs to him for that. Yeah, it's just very interesting. There's a lot of veteran wide receivers there, and there's a lot of veteran running backs that are out there too. Najee Harris, I'm intrigued to see where he goes and what he does with his career, as he's a free agent as well too. Um, a lot to look out. And Khalil Mack signed again back with the Chargers again, which is very interesting. I thought he was going to leave, but anything else that stuck out to you guys before rant time? Yeah. If Aaron Rodgers goes there and play like he did for the Jets, which he technically, statistically, wasn't that bad, but I mean, it wasn't great. If he can't get them the ball, or to your point, Sam, any quarterback getting the ball, you know how much media coverage is going to be there and how interesting this is going to be. I wish there would be like a Hard Knocks there. I know they had the midseason Hard Knocks for the AFC North, which I don't know if you guys watched it. Either of you watched that?
I didn't either.
It was really, really good. And even though the season's over, you guys should probably watch it because it was really, really good. But I would love to see the Steelers, but apparently it seems like there's going to be no Hard Knocks this year, to the point that they were offering UNC and Bill Belichick Hard Knocks instead of the NFL. Yeah. Yep. Agreed. Agreed. All right. Well, let's talk about the NBA.
Let's do it.
Again. Yes, but a little bit from a different angle on this one. It's just solely it's more about the game of basketball in general for me in this conversation. So to preface this conversation, I will share with you guys what I shared with Harrison and Sam. More so Harrison, because Sam didn't really respond to it. We were talking about. I was sharing with him how a mutual friend of Harrison and I's, who I have not told them who the person is, and I won't. But we were having a conversation about basketball, and he said he started the conversation off by asking me what picks that I have for games for betting wise, and I was like, I really have not stayed in touch with the game like that this year to give you any betting picks, which he then proceeded to bust my chops and said, what am I good for? And I said, you could ask yourself the same question. Then we proceeded to have a conversation, and he said he doesn't really like how the NBA is currently. He said it's boring. He said they don't play defense. The 3-second rule has ruined basketball. These guys don't play enough. Yada, 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 yada. All this. And I got some sound advice from Harrison all the way at the end of it. And I should have stopped very, very early. But I will take Harrison's advice going forward. But for the purpose of this conversation, I'm going to still share all this with you. Harrison told me, you should have stopped having the conversation with this person once they said they don't even watch. And Harrison is absolutely right. I should have. He's 100% right. But people, I took the goddamn bait. And you know why I took the goddamn bait? Is because I'm tired of people telling me stuff. They're giving me their sports opinions about shit that they don't even watch. Because you watched 90s basketball and you believe that 90s basketball is the greatest thing ever. Listen, that some people consider that to be the golden era. I love 90s basketball. It's what we grew up, the three of us grew up on watching. But we continue to watch, and we continue to watch the game evolve, and basketball is in one of the best states it possibly can be. Yes. Are there some things that could change? We've talked about this on the last podcast. If you didn't hear it, go stop this right now and go listen to the podcast and then come back here and finish this one. But we talked about the shortening the games, so on and so forth, whatever it may be. But I need you people out there that have opinions about sports and then things in general that you know nothing about to stop. Nicely put. Shut the hell up. Because I literally had this full-blown conversation and him telling me that there is no defense actually being played, period, which I then told him at that point in time, the Nuggets and the Thunder were on TV, and it was phenomenal. It was a phenomenal game until the fourth quarter, and the Thunder pulled away, which seems to happen with teams that win. And it's also the Thunder, who's the best team in the league, so it's kind of hard to match up with them, right?
And the best defense.
And the best defense in the league. So yeah, it's hard to compare, but I'm gonna open it up. I'm gonna continue to rant more as I go through this, but I want my two friends to chime in here and share your thoughts on this, because it's quite annoying just hearing people. I will also add the fact that he said that the WNBA sucks, and I said, you clearly don't watch, and he then said yes again, and I was like, okay, well, we're done here. We don't need to do any of this anymore. So, gentlemen, what is your thoughts and opinions for this? I'm sure Harrison's going to have something short and sweet because I just know you so well. So, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think you said it, man. It's really hard to have constructive debates or conversations with people that um, don't watch, and then they just come up with their opinions and they just stick to them, and opinions change, and I think we're all like allowed to change our opinions and our thoughts on things. But if someone's stuck in their ways about a certain thing and doesn't want to give anything the chance or the time of day, I don't know where the conversation goes from there. But yeah, like you said, I mean, the NBA is in a different place now. It's completely evolved. Offenses are so good now. Defenses are obviously going to lag behind a little bit, but that doesn't mean they're not out there trying hard or, scheming up things that'll stop offenses. That's just the game and how the
Yeah.
game goes. And
Yeah.
has the game been solved? I think we're at a point now where, yes, offenses have seemingly solved the game.
Yeah.
And the NBA and basketball as a whole are going to have to make some adjustments, but that happens every 10 years. Like, this is just cyclical and it's a circle. And the game's in a great spot and it's enjoyable to watch. I mean, I've been watching a lot of basketball since NFL has ended. And, I was down on where the league was, after the All-Star game. But
Mm-hmm.
since I've watched more and I've dove deep
Same.
into a lot of these teams, and the league is really, really interesting right now. If you look at the stories, especially after the Luka trade and what the Lakers have done, and where the Warriors are, and watching the Thunder and watching the Cavs and seeing the Celtics try to go back to back, and watching and seeing if the Knicks can get it together by the end of the season now with Jalen Brunson out. But so there's so many interesting things that if it's someone that's missing the boat on this and not watching, like, that's on them. And I can't drag you by your feet, only your feet, to watch, man. I'm just gonna watch it and enjoy it. And if you don't, that's cool. I could care less. And if you want to try to have a conversation with me about it, I'll be like, "Did you watch?" And they'll be like, "No," and I'll be like, "All right, I'm gonna go watch."
I have an opinion change that's probably going to shock at least one of you. But before I share that, Sam, I would love to hear your thoughts on this. I don't think you do. I don't think.
You too.
I sure do. It's
You
fun.
do.
Yeah.
Nice. Top 5 for sure.
Yes. Because people from a distance can't tell who is who. Yeah. Yes, it is takeover.
That's it. Don't feed the trolls, man.
This is. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. They were. Yeah. But I stop right there though, Sam. I think that's the problem with people though, is that they equate the tough nose defense of the 90s and say that defense isn't played like that anymore. Yes, because people were getting punched in their face, bleeding, and they weren't calling fouls. Yes, I'm sorry, it's not played that way anymore. It's a finesse game. What do you want? It's like any business, to your point that you stated, is if we watch any business that we've ever watched in our lives, There's been several major businesses that have gone out of business. And you know why? Because they weren't able to adapt to the current time. It happens at every single business. So if these brands stayed stagnant and left it the way it was in the 90s, the NBA wouldn't exist. So stop. Yes.
I would just argue that too. Like the physicality is still there. Like I would
agree.
implore people to, and it doesn't translate on TV. Like if you go to a game and sit close, like I get to sit courtside for college basketball every single night, and the physicality of these dudes is absolutely unreal.
It's nuts.
Sorry, it's absolutely unreal. And this is just D1 college. Like any NBA game I get to go to, like I love, like, people call Joel Embiid soft, and I get it. I get it. But if you've watched him play up close, I've watched this man play up close. They bang and pull and grab each other for 48 minutes. Like the physicality this dude has at 7 feet tall is unbelievable, and you wouldn't understand it until you watched it up close. That's just point blank, period. And then the game is just changed. Like they are physical, but the game in the 90s was played below the 3-point line. You're just tight together and you're trying to get to a layup, and that's just going to lead to more physical plays. It's spread out now. They're all across the 3-point line. They're playing up and down, more of a transition game, and you're just going to have less physicality, obvious physicality from like, I'm just going to clothesline this dude. Like this just, those chances don't come very often. So, yeah. But that's just, we're talking to straw man arguments here.
True.
Blocked by James. Yeah. That lives in my head rent free forever. Yeah. It's a defensive play that lives in your memory.
Yeah.
No. Nothing. Yeah, we're good. Yeah. 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 You are. You didn't vote. I love, that's exactly how I feel. Like you didn't vote. So you really have your,
So no, so the thing is, I love, like, I don't complain about the Twitter people. I just find it comical with Twitter people because that one's fun for me. But when you actually have my personal phone and then you write this nonsense to me, it's a little bit different. Little bit different. I will say this, because Harrison said, essentially change, get with the times, or just stay where you are. And I've officially changed something. LeBron has had the greatest career in NBA history. LeBron is the greatest player of all time because he's been doing it, and nobody has had a career like LeBron James. This man is currently averaging what he basically averaged. Obviously, he's injured right now, but currently averaging what he was averaging in Miami when he was the MVP that year. This man is continuously doing that. He now is the only person to reach 50,000 points. He's the greatest. He has the greatest career in NBA all time. Now, I believe
Were you a
overall,
Jordan guy before this?
Huh?
Were you a Jordan guy before?
I still am a Jordan guy. Don't worry, I'm still going.
Okay.
I'm still going.
All right, go ahead.
I think LeBron is the greatest player of all time, and I'm talking about from beginning to where he is right now. I believe Jordan had the greatest stretch of what he did in that short period of time, which makes him the greatest of all time in that perspective. Again, you can argue whatever you want, but I'm now at the point in my life that I've seen both and got to enjoy both, and we're old enough to have done that. And I think they both can be the greatest of all time in their own perspective. I think LeBron, like I said, overall career and all the records that he's broken, he's the greatest overall. But Michael Jordan's still my GOAT, especially for what he did in that period of time with those back-to-back 3 times, or excuse me, 2 times of 3 back-to-backs. So
well, that's the fun part about that debate. Like you could set your own parameters and come to your own conclusion.
absolutely.
And
And I'm going to.
I rarely have it, but I'll still have it just for like the mental debate part of like
Yeah.
just, back and forth like tennis, just having fun with it. But that's the beauty of that debate and why we've been having that one for
Ever
15 years.
And it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. It won't
it
stop.
still keeps popping up, and it's always fun, but yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's silly.
It's nuts.
It's so silly. Sure.
The decision.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just yeah, we could bring it up again. But just taking his go ahead.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I would have argued that to the death. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Watch highlights. They're on YouTube. Do that. Just if you want to live in the past, live in the past. I mean, I don't know how after this Olympics just passed that you can't say basketball is in a good state. That is the three of us have talked about it immediately after it. It was some of the greatest basketball, if not the greatest basketball we've ever seen in our whole entire life. I watched episode 1 of the documentary, by the way, Harrison. Ray watched a little bit of it with me. She was excited when she saw Barry on there, and I was like, whatever. And but I didn't know he was an executive producer. Barry, the Obamas on that. I did not know that.
Yeah,
but
there's like a whole episode with him.
Yeah, I saw
watch it, man.
Yeah,
Wait till
I'm gonna continue to watch it.
Episode 2 is with KD is just gonna you'll change your mind on KD after that one. Swear to God.
I mean,
I have.
I don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I take KD. Go ahead, Harrison. I'm sorry.
You will, I know the thoughts we've had on KD and what we want him to be, but you will watch it and you will change your mind on KD, and KD will just be KD, and you will be like, okay, I get it, and I just appreciate this dude.
I've changed my stance. Like I was so against KD when he did the whole Warriors situation, and I know also media assisted that and whatnot, and he still went there and he added and was the best player on that team. So I also took a step back once I realized that too. It's like he didn't go there and was just like there to get a ring. Like he went there and was the best player on that damn team. And if he didn't hurt himself, they would have definitely won another championship. And everywhere he's gone, if you really, really watch KD and he's unapologetically him. I don't even need to see the documentary to know this about it, but I'm still obviously going to watch. But he is unapologetically him, and his life is ball. Like, he doesn't care. He loves ball. He can talk
Please.
you. He can talk to you from one end of the world to the other end of the world about ball and wouldn't stop. And you'd probably be amazed all that he knows about it. And I know that about him in general. So and if you can't understand like the greatness that you're watching in Kevin Durant, he doesn't have much time left. Steph doesn't have much time left. LeBron doesn't have much time left. You better cherish it. That's why I'm hoping this year
on the court.
Yes, on the court. Yes. Yes.
It'll just
Yeah.
It's about to hit 4,000 threes. 4,000.
Wild.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You will.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, LeBron's not as much as a psychopath of those two. Those two were, yeah.
Yeah, you will it'll hammer that point home for you and really drive just this like how much we've invested in like ring culture narrative and this he doesn't even touch on any of this, but it clicked for me of like we've taken a lot of guys for granted over the years that like just love basketball and playing basketball and that just want to hoop, and KD is the embodiment of that, and so is someone like Kyrie. And yeah, man, I'm tired of the ring culture shit. I'm just really tired of it.
I'm there.
Yeah. Yeah.
These are
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. These are goalpost moving conversations. Is because everybody has their opinion and they will move the goalpost to where they want it to be no matter what. I mean, we watched just because we know Tom Brady won all those rings. There was Drew Brees, there was Phillip Rivers, there was Peyton Manning, right? There was Eli Manning. There was several people that won Super Bowls during that time. Obviously, Phillip Rivers did not, but there's several guys that are Hall of Famers, right? That had won during that time, but all people talk about is Tom and his rings, right? And now we're doing the same thing with Patrick Mahomes, is Patrick, right? And we'll probably later on down the road, if he continues to win more, right? Like during that time, you had Jalen Hurts, you had Tom Brady beat him for one, right? You know what I mean? Like you had Joe Burrow going off, you had Josh Allen. So it's the same with the NBA. Is I know we're so invested because we spend money on this and we invest our time in it, and everybody feels that they have an opinion, and nobody's curbing your opinion. Do what you got to do, right? But these individuals are also humans that have families, and just because they make millions of dollars, which was also an argument of this individual, that they shouldn't take any time off and do all this other jazz. It's not their fault that they get paid millions of dollars. They're really good at something that not everybody can do. The market is able to pay them that. That's what it is. And I said to him, I was like, so you think they should just play just because you feel they should play? How would you feel if your job was like, you know what? You're taking vacation this week. I can't believe we're paying you all this money. You're taking vacation. You think you deserve? Just stop. Just cut it out. Also, since we're still in the NBA and we talked about LeBron, I'm gonna get a little messy here, and I wanna ask you guys this question.
Oh boy.
What did you think of the interaction with LeBron and Stephen A. Smith? You
Yeah, go
may.
for it.
You
Yeah,
may.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's okay. Go right ahead. I got you. No.
I don't know what's. I actually don't know what sparked it either, Hayes.
The
I know
so
you said something.
so the Chuck situation and Stephen A situation is a different thing. It's
Okay.
not it's what Chuck is talking about. He's talking about ESPN because Chuck will be with ESPN. I believe that's he's gonna have a contract with, right? So
Yeah.
he was talking about how ESPN covers the NBA and the whole topic of what we had the conversation about before of how the coverage is toxic as hell, pretty much. So Chuck was making fun of that, and he was really talking about Kendrick Perkins and what one of the things that he said. So that's a separate situation. The situation that LeBron approached Stephen A. and said, "Leave my son out of it," was Stephen A. had a segment on First Take that LeBron maybe was talking about how LeBron said that Bronny was better than some players in the NBA right now. And Stephen A said very clearly, Bron, don't put your son in that position. Like, don't do this. Like, he said it genuinely, like, don't do this. Don't put your son in that situation, because he thought it was disrespectful of saying that he was better than some players in the NBA right now. And some would say that he might be better than some NBA players right now, but he's also a G League player, so most would, right? Um, and that's what really sparked it. And Bron, I've watched Stephen A. when they're talking about like high school prospects in basketball. He doesn't talk about kids until they get into college, and he doesn't like talking about them when they get in college really either. He likes talking about them when they're in the NBA. Like, that's kind of like his rule that he said like out loud. So Bron confronted him after the game and told him to keep his son's name out of his mouth. Um, so with that being said, I'll tell you my stance on it. I understand LeBron is being a father, which Stephen A said very genuinely. He said he was speaking to the father, not the player. And you're going to protect your own, right? I don't have kids. You two have kids, and I'm sure you would do anything for them and protect them, right? But your son plays in the NBA, what Stephen A covers, and he didn't say anything malicious about your son. He's able to critique your son like he's able to critique you. So he has a place to do that. That's his job. You don't have to like it. I thought that was weak of LeBron to do that. I thought if he wanted to press him, he should have did it without anybody being around. Like, hey, yo, after this, let's talk in the back. Like, everybody else doesn't need to see this. Like, we can talk. We can talk. I'll say what I say. But I thought that was kind of just whack that he just did that and then like walked off. And then it was like, okay, Bron, like this is why it sparked my mind. I was like, I want to say this because it sparked my mind when you said about some of the things that LeBron has done. And it's just like, I was, when you immediately said that, and I was just like, this is kind of, your son is par for the course at this point in time. He's a professional basketball player. Stephen A can talk about him like he talked about anybody else. You don't have to like it. If he was talking about your whole family and saying like talking about your daughter who doesn't play basketball or your wife, I get it. Go at him. But your son plays basketball on a very big
I,
scale.
I I agree with you there. That it should have been a private conversation. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think Braun made it public to throw a little. I
Yeah.
don't
Throw a
know.
little spice in
Throw a
it.
little wrench and throw a little
Throw a little
spice in it. It's
spice.
all
I like the
it's
spice.
all
I'm not.
entertainment. This is like the WWE part of
Yeah.
the NBA coverage, and I'm good on this too.
Yeah, that's just fun for me.
Yeah, it
Sam,
was interesting. It was an interesting kind of news rotation. Hmm.
yeah, millions of dollars. Yep. Nope. Yeah. Yeah. His name. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. I don't either.
No.
Hmm.
I think it's all. Yeah. I do think it's like it's a lot of unfair stuff too for Bronny though. Like there is a lot of intentionality on the way
Of
ESPN
course.
covers Bronny, and when Stephen A's doing his thing, they're just showing all of like Bronny's lowlights, and it's like, I mean, we know what you're doing, like, or some of us know what you're doing. So from that perspective, from Braun, it's like, yeah, you kind of have to push back against the negative narrative that these people are selling because that's the story. Like,
Yep.
him
Yep.
tearing it up in the G League and him just being on the court with his dad, like that just doesn't make clicks, I guess. So, you know, it's all really gross and messy, and I don't like
It's
it at all. And
it's
I
very
just,
it's disgusting, but this is where we are with sports media in certain things.
yeah, it's just
There's some really bright spots out there, and then there's some really disgusting spots out there. But as we move on, well, before we move on, this is also why you two goats didn't name your kids your names because you didn't want them to have to follow that too. So I get it, guys. College basketball championship
my
week.
name's just top. Yeah, my
Ah,
name's I got to spell my name out all the time. I didn't want that.
I dig it. I mean, I dig
Yeah, it's like one
it.
R or two. It's two R's. Like, have you ever seen one? Like, but whatever.
Oh my god. College basketball, as I said, championship week. We got coming up. I watched Duke spank North Carolina, which I called because North Carolina sucks this year.
Yeah, they
Um,
do.
but yeah, you can gloat about it a little bit. Duke is number one currently in the nation, followed by
They are.
Houston, number two, Auburn three, Florida four, Alabama five, St. John's, who I would be scared of playing in the tournament, six, seven, Michigan State, eight, Tennessee, nine, Texas Tech, and 10, Clemson. So, gentlemen, my question to you is: I know Harrison, you said you haven't really watched much. Sam, I'm assuming the same thing as well. And I also really haven't until like recent weeks because I know what it's leading towards. Um, right now, it's just that. And if you've seen any of these teams play, who would you have winning it all before we fill out our chasing points brackets?
So, I don't get to watch much because I work all the nights
Yeah.
that every game is on,
Plays.
so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
kind of messy. But I do follow it, and I think if you're picking against Duke, Houston, or Auburn right now, it, you're it's going to be tough for you.
Yeah.
I mean, those
Yeah.
three teams are exceptional. I've watched a lot of Auburn. Auburn should be one.
Mm-hmm.
Dropped two last week, but they are um, they have it all: shooting, size, tenacious defense, all that stuff. Duke did beat them earlier in the year,
They did.
so
Yep.
but it was at Cameron. So I mean, in a neutral floor setting, I think
It would
those
be
teams match
different.
up really
Yeah.
well, and it's going to be hopefully we get that matchup because those two teams are incredible. Houston's been on an amazing run the last couple of years. I think they've been Elite Eight for the last three. They may have gotten knocked out earlier at some point, but Houston is just really,
They're
really good. And
powerhouse.
then, like you mentioned, St. John's is their defense is out of this world.
Nuts.
There's defense. Please watch it.
Yeah.
Like they're
Yeah.
crazy.
Nuts.
Their
Their
defense
defense
is
nuts.
so fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean the favorites are Duke, Houston, and Auburn. And I would take Auburn. I think they're really really good. But St. John's is scary. They just don't have the offensive firepower that those three have. Um, but yeah, man, SEC as a whole is. I think they were They had an 89% winning percentage in non-conference, like one of the best of all time. Like their whole conference just didn't lose in non-conference play. So
Wild.
the SEC has been awesome this year and better than football, honestly, right now. So yeah, interesting times down south.
Very interesting. I'd probably say right now my pick to win it all would probably have to be between Auburn and Houston.
Just because you don't want to pick Duke, huh?
No, because I know Duke is going to choke. But shout out to Cooper Flag because he's an absolute monster. The way that this young man first, did you see the dunk that he had in his mom's celebration? Wild. Shout out
On
to
his head.
Shout out to Mama Flag for that. That was really, really dope. No, I mean, I just think it's really cool seeing a kid come from Vermont and playing this volume of basketball. I will say it again because I don't ever think of Vermont as a basketball place. And this young man is this young man is great. Just seeing how he helped the Olympic team and trained against them and how he was giving NBA players buckets too. Like this young man has got it. And there's no shock to me why he is torn it up this year. I know the Cameron crazies were screaming for him to come back one more year. Y'all are literally crazy if you think he's coming back one more year because it's not happening. But yeah, no, Auburn and Houston, absolutely phenomenal. But again, I will say St. John's is going to mess up a lot of people's brackets, and Bama is going to mess up some people's brackets too. So have fun with that.
Sleeper pick, Drake from the Ohio Valley Conference.
He just wanted to put Drake in there. He needs a Drake to win this year somehow.
Drake is so back this year. Great album.
Terrible album.
Oh, I love that album.
That album is terrible. Are you kidding me?
You're crazy.
Yeah. First off, Party Next Door is terrible now too, but that album is terrible.
No, we're so back. We are so back. And Drake Bulldogs, they're 30-3 on the year. So just watch out when you're picking your bracket for Drake. Yeah, the Aubrey Grahams.
Wow, that's crazy. Sam, do you have a pick?
UConn still.
There.
Yeah. UConn's, they're slated as an 8. Yeah.
Paige. Shout out to Juju. Juju because Juju's had more points than Caitlin Clark in her first 2 seasons. So I just want to put that out there because we talked a lot about Caitlin. So we should be talking about Juju because she is having a phenomenal career in basketball in USC. And yes, and she's nuts.
I think people are. I think they're, she's had
not as loud as Caitlin, but they.
I mean, bro, you know why? Come on.
I do know why, but there's a reason why I'm bringing this up, just for people.
We don't have to get. We don't have to get into this here. Like,
I mean,
bro,
sure, yeah, that's fair. But
she's been paid. I think she's been paid her proper respects. They've been on national television a lot this year.
Yeah, they have.
People are respecting game, and she is very, very good.
She's really good.
She's going to be. Yeah,
as he words that. Yeah, that's true. It's true.
Fight on, baby.
Put those stupid fingers down.
Yeah. UConn men are slated as an 8 seed right now, Sam. So, but they're always dangerous. They're going to be dangerous some of the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that three-peat ain't happening. Not this year. Nope.
Probably not.
Yeah, probably.
But I wouldn't be surprised.
Anything's possible. Do you care? Baseball. Garrett Cole is now set to have Tommy John surgery. Yankees fans all collectively together, we can sigh. Do I care? Absolutely, because that is the ace of our team, and yes, I said our team. We invest money to go see them in time. It sucks to see this. And you said Sam texting, I believe Brendan and I, is due to the slider. You believe that it's him throwing that more in spring training? Mm-hmm. Yes. Last year. Yep. Not the best pitch to throw. Mm-hmm. To throw. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's down. Sam sounded he sounds so defeated when he just said that with promising arms. Yeah. I know. I'm sure there'll be some trades. Yeah. Yeah. Harrison. Whatever. I I only care about Giancarlo when it comes to the playoffs. Harrison, what's your thoughts?
Just sad. It
Yeah.
sucks, man. It
Yeah.
really sucks. Like I have faith that um the rotation is solid. You know,
Yes.
it'll be solid throughout the year. I think it will still win a lot of games, but when it comes down to it in the playoffs and you need that ace on the hill like Cole has been, um, we just don't have that right now, and that is very concerning. Yeah,
That'd be great. That'd be great.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I will say this to your Cashman point: Yankees should have some revenue because I got some news for you guys. The Yankees set a franchise record with 411 $411.7 million in tickets and luxury suite sales for 2024, which is a 39.8% increase from 2023. Their World Series run boosted revenue by 101.9 million dollars, and they drew 40,822 more fans than the previous season. So, needless to say, is you spend this goddamn money so we can get somebody in here, please, or I'm gonna go play Fortnite with Shohei Otani as my character and just call it a day because Shohei Otani is in Fortnite now. So, y'all do
That
what you want
chicken,
with that.
that chicken fingy basket still up there, man.
Oh God! All right, I
So,
think we've done enough here. Um, Gentlemen, it's been great. Sam, take us out. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Go Birds. Don't feed the trolls.
I got nothing. Bye.